First at 5, we continue our coverage of the tragedy in Tuscola, remembering the service of their mayor, Robert Elkins.
Plus, how Hardin-Simmons is putting their students ahead of the pack with its prestigious PA program.
And we're done with those rain and snow chances for now. Abilene's local news starts right now.
Your news in your community. This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 5.
We begin with breaking news this evening. An active investigation in Breckenridge underway as officials have arrested a suspect in a homicide. The crime scene on the 600 block of North Front Street.
KRBC has crews on the scene gathering more details as we learn more. You too, both on the air and on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com. Well, tonight KRBC is celebrating 65 years on the air. Good evening. I'm David Bacon.
And I'm Kathleen Barkley. Thanks for joining us on this special day for the KRBC team. Now you can see all of the balloons on the set celebrating this long-standing legacy here at KRBC.
Tonight we carry on the tradition of bringing you all of Abilene's local news. With that, let's get to tonight's top story. A pedestrian is in critical condition after being hit by a car in South Abilene. Abilene police say a 30-year-old driver was on his way to work just after 5 this morning when he hit the pedestrian at the intersection of South San Jose and Waldemar Street. Family members tell KRBC the pedestrian, currently undergoing surgery, remains hospitalized. For additional information and updates on this story, head to our website, bigcountryhomepage.com.
We're continuing our coverage of a traffic collision in Tuscola that claimed the lives of 2 prominent community members. Now, it happened early yesterday afternoon in the town just south of Abilene along Highway 83 near County Road 131. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, 3 vehicles involved in that crash. The victims identified as Mayor Robert Elkins and his wife, Von D. Elkins.
The city leader and his wife were devoted to their community. Robert Elkins lived in Tuscola for over 50 years, serving on the city council before becoming mayor. His wife, Von Dean, working at a local bank in town for several years, both beloved by the community. The now pro tem mayor and the assistant fire chief was especially close to Robert and Von Dean, saying Robert did everything he could for this town's residents.
He was always there for anybody who needed anything, and he always gave his time and efforts in multiple ways, and had a great vision for this community.
Elkins worked for the Texas Department of Transportation for decades, working on projects such as the Waldrop Overpass on Antley Road, connecting other communities to the city of Abilene. TxDOT giving this statement in part, quote, Robert Elkins was a valued member of the TxDOT family for over 36 years, and his contributions in the Waldrop Exchange project, along with many others, permanently changed the way Texans travel through the district. You can read the entire statement on our website, bigcountryhomepage.com. We have an update to a homicide investigation. The family of Jenny Quinn has increased a reward for information that could help solve her murder. The 20-year-old woman went missing from Levelland this past April. Her body was found in a vacant lot here in Abilene, and now, after several months, still no arrest have been made. Abilene police continue with the investigation. The family now offering more than $11,000 for information to solve her murder. The Quinn family is asking that you call the Abilene Police Department at the number shown here on your screen. All tips will be anonymous. Now here's Dylan with a look at your weather.
Thanks, David. As we head into the weekend, we are leaving behind our rain and snow woes, and we're saying hello to actually pretty nice weather. That low pressure moving off to our east, as well as the storms and showers associated with it. High pressure will be the name of the game heading into the next few days, so just be aware of that as we do head into the next couple of days. For the weekend, looking to be clear skies out there right now tonight and this evening. Be ready for a cooler evening in general. Winds are starting to calm down out there right now, and will continue to fall, and so will those temperatures, as we are expecting temperatures back down below freezing tonight and heading out the door for tomorrow morning. You could be very chilled, at least in those lower 30s. Tomorrow afternoon getting pretty nice in the lower to mid 60s, and those winds finally will stay pretty calm.
All right, thanks, Dylan. And keeping with your local news tonight, we're learning of an incredible story from a Big Country Volunteer Fire Department. Nolan volunteer firefighter Jeff Egger noticed a car on the side of Highway 153. He initially thought it was someone on their phone. Now, as he passed by, he noticed it was an elderly woman. Knowing there's no cell phone reception, Egger stopped to see if the woman needed help. That's when he found the woman having a heart attack. Now, he quickly drove until he had cell phone service to call 911. Doctors were able to place 6 stents to open blocked arteries, and officials say his actions that day saved her life. Well, it's been 6 years since the murders at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut.
The anniversary will pass quietly in the nation's capital, but Washington correspondent Morgan Wright reports some lawmakers are speaking out on the lack of gun legislation in the years since that day.
6 years ago, Americans watched in horror as the epidemic of mass shootings reached into a sleepy Connecticut town. The murders of 20 children and 6 adults by a single gunman at Sandy Hook Elementary School stunned the nation.
For me, December is always a moment of reconnection with a lot of the families and a lot of the victims.
Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy says another year has passed without meaningful action by Congress to prevent mass killings.
Memorials and vigils are important, but these lives can't have been lost in vain.
Democrats take control of the House of Representatives next year. Senator Murphy says that may provide an opportunity to pass legislation that changes the nation's gun laws.
We're going to be spending the end of this year making plans for legislative action in 2019.
Let's not pretend that we're dealing with an issue when we don't even have a debate.
Senator Bob Casey this week renewed his call for universal background checks.
Is that a magic wand that will wipe out this problem forever? No. But background checks will make it less likely.
I think background checks are very important.
But Republican Senator John Cornyn says lawmakers need to cast a wider net.
Unfortunately, unless somebody has previously committed an offense, it's not a comprehensive answer because people become mentally ill.
Cornyn says the next Congress needs to address treatment for mental illness and hardened schools. In Washington, Morgan Wright.
Hardin-Simmons Physical Assistant Program is one of 8 in the state of Texas, but the prestigious program has something special that sets it apart from the rest. Dr. Norton is an assistant professor for the program, and she's already putting her students ahead of the game, and she's the only practicing surgeon in the state to teach lead dissection anatomy. Giving these first-year PA students at least one thing to be thankful for as they go through finals week.
You have somebody teaching them the anatomy that's experiencing the clinical side of it as well, so you can kind of make it a little bit more meaningful to them as they try to learn.
And now, with 2 years of teaching under her belt, the Abilene General Surgeon hopes the ever-changing industry will continue to pique their interest as it does hers.
We have some new recall information for Toyota owners. The automaker recalling nearly 90,000 Land Cruisers and Lexus LX 570 vehicles from the past decade. It's all over a safety issue that involves the front passenger seatbelt. Over time, the seatbelt's tension sensor might not work properly. Toyota is working on a remedy and will notify owners by mid-February. Also, about 44,000 2018 and 2019 Tacoma trucks have been recalled due to a braking issue. Owners of those vehicles will be notified by late January.
And another giant with continuing problems, Facebook is under more heat after a bug exposed nearly 7 million users' private photos without their permission. The company making the acknowledgement today, saying the bug allowed third-party app developers access to photos people may not have shared publicly. Now, users' photos were exposed over a 12-day period in September. Facebook said it will notify users potentially impacted by that bug.
And there is good news for Starbucks fans. The coffee brewers are expanding delivery to about 2,000 locations across the country through a partnership with Uber Eats. It's part of a strategy to try to reach more customers. The company says they're planning to have special spill-proof cups and will make the beverages hotter just so that they arrive in time at the right temperature. Coming up on First at 5, holiday travel is a must for millions, but so are support animals. Your Health Minute will explain how you can keep them close by as you embark.
And we're leaving behind that winter weather for more fall-like temperatures. I'll have all of that in the forecast coming up next.
This is KRBC, Abilene's local news at 5, with Kathleen Barkley, David Bacon, and Chief Meteorologist Dylan Smith. Now, your KRBC Storm Team forecast.
Millions of people will be flying in the coming weeks to celebrate.
Now, your KRBC Storm Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Dylan Smith.
Well, after that nasty weather the past few days, we are leaving it all behind. We're saying hello to a beautiful weekend with plenty of sunshine, at least for tomorrow. As you can see, a lot of that low pressure now moving out to the eastern areas of Louisiana, moving into Alabama, Mississippi, all of the southeastern states there, giving them a lot of rain, but leaving us under the influence of more high pressure heading into the afternoon, evening hours tonight and for the next few days, actually. I'll show you that graph here in a second, but we are looking again at almost perfectly clear skies for a lot of us. Plenty of sunshine out there with, again, no chances for any more rain as that low pressure currently in the eastern areas of Texas moving further off to the east. But behind it, we see a pretty strong ridge. That's a ridge in the pressure there. High pressure will be moving in for the next few days, heading into the weekend and even early next week. We do see another ridge kind of forming behind it. These will essentially join forces, if you will, as this high pressure will sink. And again, that high pressure will continue to stick around. That will be most of at least the weekend and heading into most of next week as well. But we are also watching a little bit of a dip in the atmosphere there. That could bring us a cold front by Sunday night and Monday morning. Aside from that, things will stay rather quiet. Now, by late next week, we do start to see a low pressure again. This will bring us a few more clouds as we head into the evening hours for a lot of us. So just be aware of that for the next few days as well. We are looking at a rather cold night tonight and heading into tomorrow morning. A lot of us will be at or below freezing in those upper 20s and lower 30s. And by tomorrow afternoon, we'll be leaving all that behind, mid to low 50s already by lunchtime. By the afternoon, evening hours, we'll be seeing those low to mid 60s again. So we're leaving behind the cold weather in the afternoons for very nice, well above seasonal temperatures for a lot of us. As those winds as well starting to calm down nicely, still pretty strong down in the heartland, the southern half of the big country. But as we look further to the north, only about 5 to 10, 5 to 15 miles an hour for you guys up there, and for Abilene, still seeing about 20 mile an hour sustained winds, but they are falling rather nicely. We aren't seeing those 50 mile an hour gusts or anything. Those are very strong over the past few days, so just be aware of that. As we head into the evening hours, we are looking at calming winds. Again, clear skies will stick around. That with those calm winds will keep us very, very cold temperatures again tonight, back to the lower 30s. And then heading into the afternoon tomorrow, lower 60s to mid 60s. Pretty cold morning. Just be aware of that. Mostly sunny, though, as we head into the afternoon. Those upper level clouds will start to move in, more so by Sunday, however. So just, again, be aware. It'll be a beautiful weekend. By Sunday, though, we do start to see a little more cloud cover, unfortunately, unfortunately, that will be a cold front coming through. But beyond that, looking at very consistent weather for a lot of us heading into next week. Light rain chance Wednesday into Thursday, but that cold front will continue to come on through heading into Wednesday and Thursday again. But you can look at that. Plenty of sunshine for us, some cloud cover as well throughout the week, and that cold front coming through tomorrow night heading into Sunday. Kathleen?
All right, thanks, Dylan. Now we want to give you an update on the breaking news we brought you at the beginning of our newscast. We now want to give you a live look out in Breckenridge, a possible homicide investigation underway right there in Breckenridge. This is an active crime scene involving multiple law enforcement agencies at a home on the 600 block of North First Street. Now, KRBC crews, we did hear a be on the lookout on the police scanner for a homicide suspect out of Breckenridge. As of 4:30 p.m., we've heard that he might be in custody. Now, no further information is available at this time, but as you can see, KRBC crews are on scene to get the latest information at that crime scene. Again, a possible homicide investigation going on in Breckenridge, Stevens County right now. KRBC crews live look right there on the 600 block of North Front Street as that investigation is underway. As we learn more, we'll keep you updated both on the air and on Big Country homepage.
And more details coming up on KRBC News tonight at 6 and 10 o'clock.
Of course, and coming up next on your local news, how to keep your pets happy and healthy while you celebrate the holidays. That story coming up when we come back.
You're watching KRBC, Abilene's.
From Christmas trees to ornaments.
You're watching KRBC, Abilene's local news.
Welcome back. We're well into the holiday season now. Millions of Americans have their houses decorated and are planning on some cooking on some big meals to help celebrate.
But all those ornaments and food can lead to health risks for your pets. We go over to El Paso for your Texas report.
From Christmas trees to ornaments or holiday meals, you'll see them just about anywhere during this time of the season. However, they can be a dangerous part of the season for your pets. An El Paso veterinarian says there are many decorations that animals can get to, and much of the times it happens while pet owners are distracted with other holiday season duties. Dr. Mark Lennox says he sees an increase in the amount of cats and dogs visiting his office during the holidays. Cats are attracted to shiny ornaments and tinsel, and if they eat them, they could need surgery. And feeding dogs human food or bones could give the animal health problems. Dr. Lennox says it's important to be aware of the holiday decorations and foods that can be a danger to your pet so you can keep them away and avoid spending the holidays in the clinic.
That's why being preemptive is very important, because you don't want to be stressed out on the weekend, on that holiday when your veterinarian is closed and you have to go to the emergency center. It's very expensive, it's very stressful.
Well, pet experts add that festive plants can be toxic, and even the water under your fresh Christmas tree can make your furry friends sick.
Uh-oh, look out for that. Coming up on your local news, we'll have a look at the top headlines and another check of your forecast. Stay with us.
You're watching KRBC. Abilene. You're watching KRBC, Abilene's local news.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. If you're just tuning in, here's a look at what you missed earlier in our newscast.
A traffic accident claims the lives of 2 prominent community members in Tuscola yesterday. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, 3 vehicles involved in that crash. The victims identified as Mayor Robert Elkins and his wife Vondine Elkins of Tuscola.
The city leader and his wife were devoted to their community. Robert Elkins lived in Tuscola for over 50 years, serving on the city council before becoming mayor. His wife Vondine working at a local bank in town for several years, both beloved by the community. The now pro tem mayor and assistant fire chief was especially close to Robert and Vondine, saying Robert did everything he could for the town's residents.
He was always there for anybody who needed anything, and he always gave his time and efforts in multiple ways, and had a great vision for this community.
Elkins worked for the Texas Department of Transportation for decades, working on such projects as the Waldrop Overpass on Antley Road, connecting other communities to the city of Abilene.
And TxDOT releasing this statement today, saying in part, quote, Robert Elkins was a valued member of the TxDOT family for over 36 years, and his contributions in the Waldrop Exchange Project and many others permanently changed the way Texans travel through the district.
A pedestrian is in critical condition after being hit by a car in South Abilene. Abilene police say a 30-year-old driver was on his way to work just after 5 this morning when he hit the pedestrian at the intersection of South San Jose Drive and Waldemar Street. Family members telling KRBC the pedestrian currently undergoing surgery and remains hospitalized. For additional information and updates on this story, head to our website, bigcountryhomepage.com.
Hardin Simmons Physical Assistant Program is one of 8 in the state of Texas, but the prestigious program has something special that sets it apart from the rest. Dr. Norden is an assistant professor for the program. She's already putting her students ahead of the game, as she's the only practicing surgeon in the state to teach lead dissection anatomy, giving these first-year PA students at least one thing to be thankful for as they go through the finals week. Coming up tonight at 6, our Febin Cassahoon will have the full story on that program.
You have somebody teaching them the anatomy that's experiencing the clinical side of it as well, so you can kind of make it a little bit more meaningful to them as they try to learn.
And with 2 years of teaching under her belt, the Abilene General Surgeon hopes the ever-changing industry will continue to pique their interest as it does hers.
We're learning of an incredible story from a Big Country Volunteer Fire Department. Nolan volunteer firefighter Jeff Egger noticed a car on the side of Highway 153. He initially thought it was someone on their phone. As he passed by, he noticed it was an elderly woman. Knowing there was no cell phone reception in that area, Egger stopped to see if the woman needed help. That's when he found she was having a heart attack. He quickly drove until he had cell phone service to call 911. Doctors placed 6 stents to open blocked arteries. Officials say his actions saved her life. Up next on KRBC News at 5, Dylan has another look at your forecast. Stay with us.
But first, here's what you can catch on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Ahead for us, was it a drone or something else that struck a jetliner about to land? The latest on the investigation. Plus, rescuers describe their complete shock to find someone alive after hours trapped in a submerged car in a raging river. The story tonight.
Catching a glimpse of that sunset. It's clear skies, blue as can be for those skies out there. Absolutely gorgeous evening. A little bit on the cool side though, back in those lower 50s. As temperatures tonight will drop pretty quick, down to around the 30-degree mark, even seeing some mid to upper 20s out there. Just depends on how calm these winds get. But the winds are calming down right now. It's been a windy day, but things are calming down. We are looking at an absolutely perfect forecast to finish out fall.
All right, good job.
Perfect. Yeah, I like that one, Dylan.
You're
All right.
welcome.
Well, before we leave you tonight, as we told you at the beginning of our newscast, we here at KRBC are celebrating 65 years on the air. Abilene Mayor Anthony Williams was in attendance this morning to make a proclamation and a ceremony followed by a ribbon cutting. And it's been an honor to bring you the local news of the Big Country all of these decades. And of course, we look forward to many more decades of bringing you all of Abilene's local news.
All right.
A lot of great times this morning, for
Yeah,
sure.
it
Great
really
65 years on air.
It was a lot of fun.
All right, well, that does it here for your local news. First at 5, NBC Nightly News coming up next.
And we'll be back here at 6 o'clock. Thank you for trusting KRBC.